Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has wrapped up his two-day landmark visit to France. While the focus of the visit was to strengthen defense cooperation, the countries managed to deepen bilateral ties between the countries. After a successful visit, the Indian Prime Minister has redefined the Indo-French diplomatic equation and is now headed towards Abu Dhabi. The Prime Minister and French President Emmanuel Macron raised toasts to India and France's friendship as they attended a banquet dinner with 200 guests at the Louvre Museum. Prior to that, the two leaders also exchanged gifts. Indian Prime Minister presented the French leader with a sandalwood replica of sitar, while French President gifted the Prime Minister a framed replica of a 1916 photograph depicting a Parisian offering flowers to a Sikh officer and an 11th century replica of the Charlemagne chessmen, along with a collection of novels. The Indian leader took part in a Ministry of Foreign Affairs meeting with Indian corporate leaders. He also met prominent personalities in Paris, including Thomas Pesquet, an esteemed aerospace engineer and pilot, Lena Nair, the CEO of Chanel, and Charlotte Chopin, a remarkable yoga practitioner. The two leaders also held a bilateral meeting at the Élysée Palace, prior to which the Prime Minister also addressed a joint conference along with the French President. While hailing the Indo-French ties, the Prime Minister discussed areas of mutual cooperation between New Delhi and Paris.
Nous allons aujourd'hui continuer à renforcer cette relation de confiance historique entre nos deux pays pour faire face à la fois aux crises internationales comme aux grands enjeux mondiaux. Je pense que nous partageons une préoccupation commune d'un risque de fragmentation de la communauté internationale, en particulier dans le contexte de la guerre menée par la Russie en Ukraine.
हम अपनी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की 25वीं वर्षगांठ मना रहे हैं। बीते 25 वर्षों के मजबूत आधार पर हम आने वाले 25 वर्षों के लिए रोड मैप तैयार कर रहे हैं। इसमें बोल्ड और महत्वाकांक्षी लक्ष्य निर्धारित किए जा रहे हैं। भारत के लोगों ने भी इस कालखंड में एक विकसित देश बनाने का संकल्प लिया है। इस यात्रा में हम फ्रांस को एक नेचुरल पार्टनर के रूप में देखते हैं।
Earlier on Thursday, Indian leader also attended Bastille Day parade as a guest of honor, sitting alongside French President Emmanuel Macron. He watched Indian troops march down the iconic Champs-Élysées Avenue. India's Rafale fighter jets took part in a flypast over the Arc de Triomphe. The historic visit resulted in sealing of defense deals between the two countries, including the purchase of 26 Rafale jets for its navy and 3 Scorpion-class submarines by India. And for more on this historic visit, our principal diplomatic correspondent Sidhan Sibol has sent us this report from Paris.
Essentially, there will be key outcomes from the entire speech. One, of course, the UPI, usage of UPI in France. Secondly, opening up of consulate in France that shows how people-to-people relationship is at the heart of this relationship, and focus from both sides is to increase that. I spoke to a number of students who are present here in the hall, and they welcomed the announcements the Indian Prime Minister made on visa regime, but also when it comes to how the Indian Prime Minister focused on whether it's Punjab, talking about the strong linkages in the past and how soldiers from that part of India played a key role during World War I here in France. And then he talked about Tamil Nadu as well, how Saint Tiruvalluvar, his statue will be inaugurated in France in coming few months or perhaps some years as well. That was something that drew a lot of applause as well. But Chandrayaan also made it to speech at a time when we will see the launch of Chandrayaan later today in India. And this is something that is keenly watched here in France as well. In fact, the chief of the the French space agency spoke exclusively to WION and talked about how this is a very important movement for India. And the French have indeed played an important role in India's space program, something that Indian Prime Minister talked about during his speech as well. So a pretty long speech, but a speech that elaborates and gives perhaps a wide view of India-France relationship as to how they were and how they are going to be in future.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.